Hello, friends! A daily dub. It's been a long time since we've had a daily dub. I don't know, like since the finale of Game of Thrones. And you may wonder, what the heck is this? Me too. I'm wondering the same thing. But I thought I'd give you a daily dub to talk about it. If you're on the Facebook or Instagram, you saw I posted this haul along with some other things that we're not going to talk about in this video. But I thought I'd do a daily dub about it. So what you see here is a bunch of Fortnite figures. Does Big Dub play Fortnite? Nope. It's not. I don't play it. But I appreciate good figures, and I appreciate unique character designs and sculpts. And that seems to be what we have here. So we'll start here. These are old news. You've seen these plenty of times. This is the Cuddle Team Leader from McFarlane. I think it was the very first or the first of two with the Skull Team Leader that came out from McFarlane Toys last year sometime, maybe 7 or 8 months ago. Well, why do I have 3 of these here? Well, because they're really cheap on Amazon. You can get these things under $10, sometimes $6, $7, depending on like at a Walmart or Amazon. And I already have 1, so I got 3 more. Why? You'll find that out later. Right here, the Rabbit Raider. All of these are the new Jazzwares Series 1 Fortnite figures. The 6-inch, I think they're called Legendary. I'm not going to review these. There are plenty of good reviews out there that you can watch, including Foosh just the other day did the whole Series 1, every one of the figures. I think that's the only review I've seen that has all of the figures. So check those out. I know Jazzwares has sent them to a bunch of people to review, so there's lots of availability for that if that's what you're into. They look good, pretty good articulation. They're still a lower cost action figure, so they're not going to blend perfectly with some of your higher end stuff, but they look good and they're unique and they're cheap. They're Walmart. I don't know if they're street dated or not because it seems like they're nowhere else and only certain Walmarts have them, but they're under $20. You can also find them on Amazon. They're there now. And there are 6 figures. So there is Rabbit Raider, which I have 4 of right here. Why? Well, we'll find that out here in a minute. There is the Visitor. It's like an alien figure. I have 4 of those. There's Havoc, which is like a soldier that looks like, it really looks like a G.I. Joe figure. I could see it being Beachhead. I mean, there's a lot of figures it could be. And then there is the purple Skull Trooper here, the glow in the dark, and I do have 1 of the Enforcer. Why do I only have 1? Because I haven't found the other 3 yet. I'd like to have 4 of that. I do intentionally only have 2 of the Skull Trooper. That is for a reason. So why, Big Dub, did you spend all this money on these figures? Why? I am getting into taking pictures. I feel like I've taken some fun pictures on Instagram recently. David has a lot of different armies built up where, for instance, the MCU Red Skull, the MCU 10 Years Red Skull, became $5 at Walmart for like a month. And he bought up a bunch of those, and that's the one that has like the 3 different Hydra soldier heads in it as well. When the Killmonger, the tactical Killmonger was $5, we bought up a bunch of those. There was a time that the Marvel Legends Paladin was like $15 for a 3-pack on Amazon, which was weird. So we've just been buying those up, and David's been amassing them. I know Damien's been amassing them too, so that we have armies for pictures. Well, those are great, and I've used those in some pictures recently we've been playing, but, you know, big like some more, you know, this is my world of pictures. A little bit more, you know, rub it. So let's see what I plan to use these for right now. Let's start with the McFarlane Cuddle Team Leader. And come on, what more do you need to say? It's just a pink pair army. I have them all with their guns. They also have the unicorn pickaxe and like their bows. I don't have any of that on them in the stand. It's just a bear army. So why do you need this? Well, you know, you can have weird masked creatures to be an army of goons for, let's say, the Joker. And you know what? If you happen to buy the really bad SDCC Joker multiverse 2-pack from Suicide Squad a couple years ago, you got that figure as well. And now you've got your bear leader. that can join the Cuddle Team army. I believe that's a reuse of a WWE. It's Mattel. It's a WWE, like the Adam Rose bunny from wrestling, and they turn it into that bear. So I mean, come on! Why wouldn't you want this? It's a bear army. So what goes along with an army of pink bears? Well, an army of pink bunnies, of course. You know, you got to hop along and squeeze it. So here I've got the Rabbit Raider from Jazzware. It is obviously a smaller figure. It's 1/12 scale. It's actually going to scale like your Figuarts do, not like your Marvel Legends do. They're more true 1/12, meaning if a character is supposed to be 6 foot tall, then it will be 6 inches. That is 1/12. If a character is supposed to be 5'8", you know, accordingly. A lot of our figures from Mattel and Hasbro are not true because they reuse the same bucks over and over again, and so a lot of people get put as the same size. Anyway, so this is the Rabbit Raider. I have it in all the configurations. Of course you need an army of this. Let me show you the configurations. It's not a review. I took the hood off of him. See his creepy little mask and the grenade. I know these all have proper names. I do not know them, and I am sorry. But these figures are great. Here is the way he kind of comes out of the package with his harvesting tool. And I put the Easter egg backpack on him. Look at that butt. Ooh. And then this head face sculpt. Now these are interchangeable face plates. So as we go through here, I'll try the faces on different things. But if you're familiar with Figuarts, they do that as well. And he's got his juice. I think that probably is like a potion that restores your health. And then here's the glasses face sculpt with the gun. And, of course, Mr. Bear could be leading them too. So that gives me a lot of pink options. You know what I'm talking about. All right, just the little ones here first. Well, the fewer amounts, I mean. Here's the Enforcer. Got his rifle and his pickaxe. I got his backpack on. I don't have his... He also has like a grenade and like a energy drink thing. He has 2 other faces. I'll put those faces on some of the other items at the end when we're trying those out, because that the figure that I said looks like Beachhead kind of looks like Firefly, Havoc, the soldier. That's where I want to try a lot of these different faces. So I just wanted to show you the Enforcer. Even though I have only one, I think it's pretty obvious how you can army build this figure. It just looks kind of like a tactical soldier, I guess. You know, I like it. Again, some of these, the things are kind of silly, but like that backpack is not. That gun looks pretty good, but they all, because they have articulated fingers, I believe some of the previous Toy Biz Marvel Legends team worked on these figures. They have articulated toe joints. You can kind of see there, they have articulated fingers. So they're going to be able to hold a lot of weapons, but that's this figure. Let me get him out of the way. Now, here you see the Skull Troopers. This one I got the rifle and his potion. Oh, I'll fall down. Touch it now. And then this one, I think the scythe, kind of the Grim Reaper pickaxe tool, is the best one so far. That's his backpack. I would imagine the backpacks all plug into each other too if you want to use them. So what am I going to do with these? Well, first of all, I do have the McFarlane Skull Trooper that they released, which is much bigger. You can see I have him on his knee, and he comes up to the shoulder of these guys. So he's a much bigger figure. So the way I look at it, because I already had this one, you saw in the Cuddle Team Leader, I had, head fall down. My apologies, I dropped things all over the place, got it in my Action Jackson, you know. But so there you go. The way I look at it is he's like the King Skull, and those are his 2, like, first commanders or personal bodyguards. So why do I only have 3 of this and not 4? Well, it's because I had already made an investment in these from SH Figuarts, which I believe they're called Shock Troopers, maybe, from Kamen Rider. I can't remember exactly what they're called off the top of my head. I'm sure somebody watching will let me know. But I have these guys, and I use these for generic, goons already when I'm doing Figuart stuff. I wanted some Figuart style, Figuarts articulation and scale just to make pictures look better. And so I already have these guys. that have a variety of odd weapons with them, a staff, a little knife, but they can hold, like if you have purchased Marauders 1/12 weapons, or you have a little armory or any of that stuff, they can hold all that. They have a bunch of hands. And there you go. So now, don't fall down, knock everybody over, friend. No, don't do it. So now, you've got 7 different skull armies. So if you want to have somebody entering like the underworld to fight this, I think that works pretty good. So that's why I got just 2 of the purple ones. Let me show you from above so you can see a little better. And then I got the King one from McFarlane, and then the Figuarts Common Rider ones. And I think that works well. Before we start talking about these Havoc figures, the Shocker Combat Men, I believe is the actual proper name of that Common Rider, SH Figuarts. And I think there's been a renewal, like a version 2 body of those. The ones I have, I believe, are the version 1. I got them. They were on Amazon for $17 a couple months ago. So I picked up 4 of them. They are, somewhere around $30 a regular price, but they'll get cheaper. Anyway, let's talk about this Havoc figure. So I can see Beachhead, obviously Firefly, lots of Joe, 6-inch Joe style figures. If you have articulated icons like the White Ninja, the Black Ninja that kind of look like Snake Eyes, or Storm Shadow, you could do some nice Joe stuff. I think this is the most obvious army build one. So let's first talk about this one, the one with his tool and his rocket backpack. So that's with camo, it's usable. I've got the 3 different faces on each of them. He kind of has just the surprised eyes. This one has the unmasked, or like the hood pulled up face, and his gun's all right. I think the guns are a little cartoony, a little oversized, so I'll probably use other guns, depending on what it is. This one I just have with nothing on it, because I'm going to change out the heads and see how the other heads look. This might not be the best figure for it. The Enforcer actually might be a better figure, but if you see, you just take it off, and it's just a faceplate, like SH Figuarts. So let's try with the Skull Trooper. The Skull Trooper face we haven't used yet. There we go. So it works. It's not going to work from the side because of the difference in the hood, but for a straight-on picture, it can definitely work. And I think that's probably going to be the theme of each of these heads. Let's try the Enforcer head. The Enforcer head actually might work a little better. No, it's going to be the same thing. So there you go, alternate Enforcer face. But you still, it's closer with the gray of the hood. The heads can pop off. The last figure we'll look at, the Visitor, doesn't have faceplates like this. It actually has heads that pop off. So that is also a possible thing. Let's see with just the unmasked face. So that's not great. I think the Skull Trooper is going to be the best one. I do not know if you'll be able to pop off other heads from other things. Now this one actually might work pretty good. So you've got the crazy Jason face mask. You still got the issue of the side, but I think for straight on pictures, all those faceplates will work with this guy pretty nicely. So I'm happy about that. I think I'll leave that one on him for now. So there you go. That is Havoc. It's kind of the soldier. I think this one will be popular. Hard to find. These are on Amazon right now. The Havocs were. That's where I got them from. I got the Havocs, the Visitors, and the Skull Troopers from Amazon. And David picked me up the Rabbit Raiders. On Amazon, the Rabbit Raider and the Wild Card is sold out. The Wild Card, of course, is the one everybody wants because you can do Royal Flush Gang or Mr. Negative or different custom uses. But I will say the McFarlane Wild Card is also out. David had picked up one of each of those. And the McFarlane one looks good too. I think it's funny. These are great figures, great articulation, and people are so quickly to throw aside the McFarlane figures when just a few months ago, everybody was so happy with those McFarlane figures and how much work McFarlane had done on articulation, and they were hard to find, and et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, I mean, we are a fickle community, and our whims change every week when something new comes out. But that's the Havoc figure. Let's take a look at the last one, the Visitor. I think it's pretty obvious how you can army build these guys. Final figure, the Visitor. Oh, why you got your thing popped up? Ooh. And I actually think this one is my favorite design. I like the sculpt of it. I like the colors of it. It's different, and I think you can army build with it. It does have some details that are unusual. So this guy has the med kit. It's the only one that came with that of the ones I have, which I have one of at least all of them with the wild card. The gun is a little more realistic. I don't think the harvesting tool quite is. If you look closely at the faces, they're all kind of unique, and the black piece pops out. It is still a faceplate, but it's different size than all the rest. See, that's almost like a smiley face. But I really do like those, and I think they're good, especially for a space scene or invaders or something like that. I guess it's called the Visitor. Maybe it is some type of alien skin. I'm not sure. But I think they look really good. So this, actually, I think is my favorite one. Just generally speaking, I'll probably use the bunnies the most, but I really do quite like this. And that will do it for today's Daily Dub. So I hope you enjoyed it. Just a little taste on some of the army building I like to do. I think these things are going to come down in price. The wild card is going to continue to be hard to find. I think it's only one per case. Some of the others are multiple. I think the Enforcer may also be a one per case. But, you know, don't go pay aftermarket prices. You can find them on Amazon. Several of them have been in stock, like I mentioned. You can find them at Walmart. Just wait. I think after a month, they're going to be at Target. They're going to be at least Target, Walmart, and Amazon, if not GameStops and places like that. I think you'll see these more and more. And eventually, they'll probably peg warm and come down in price. And then, if that bunny gets down to like $6, $7, woo, we're going to have a bunch of bunnies. But they're fun, and I think they're going to be very useful. And they look different, right? They look different. Sometimes, like the Hydra and AIM soldiers are great, but because they have certain emblems on them, it's hard to use them like with the Joker or with something like that. So I think these will work really well with that. So anyway, I am going to go cook some supper, and I'll post some pictures that I took on Instagram if you want to go check that out. I'll see you next time. Go ahead now. Squeeze it.